So one of the industry myths that's out there is how do you address the cybersecurity skills gap, which is a very real thing. I know that there are people who debate the topic, but the numbers don't lie. There are literally millions of unfilled positions. So you might ask yourself, why is there such a skills deficit in the cybersecurity industry? And why are organizations having such a hard time finding the talent that they need? And there is a simple answer to that, and that is cybersecurity is something that you don't find at the corner store. It's knowledge that is acquired through experience and practical education, and that's not something that a school is generally well suited to teaching. Obviously, Pima Community College is a great exception to that rule, but the fact is that most of the people who are the pontificating experts in academia have never ever done the job, have no idea what the job is or even how to do that job. And so as a result, if you're learning from someone who has never done it, it's kind of like someone trying to teach you space travel and yet they've never even worn a suit. So it's one of those things that it is something that is popular for people to say because not a lot of people know much about it, and it's easy to appear to know something about it even though you really don't. So organizations and companies also have something that exacerbates that problem. There is this thing called the HR Firewall, and that's kind of a little bitty nod and a joke, but in fact, it's a very real problem. HR does not know how to find or hire cybersecurity talent. They generally look for things like alphabet soup or some four-year degree or things like that. I am very happy to report that all of that is fading away very, very quickly. And one of the reasons why that's fading away is successes like Pima Community College, where you have two-year students coming out and are absolutely killing it out there in the marketplace. They're doing such an amazing job. And that kind of results driven is the kind of thing that really facilitates change. So whether it be academia teaching kids the wrong things about cybersecurity or HR firewalls preventing the right people from being able to get into jobs, both of those things contribute significantly to the massive and growing cybersecurity skills gap.
Absolutely. You nailed that aspect, because that was what we get from a lot of the businesses, that normally folks that come through academic backgrounds, they then have to train. That's what's got to stop. We've got to think it differently, and it requires the experiential learning. It's got to be folks that have actually been swimming in the pool to have that knowledge and understanding. And that's the big difference that's out there. If you just go by what's in a book, it's too old.
Yeah, it's very easy for people to pontificate about something that they don't actually know. I often use the following example. I think every one of us could describe how to launch a rocket into space, probably with a decent amount of scientific detail, but I think it's fair to say that none of us would be successful at launching a rocket into space. I mean, people who are experts in the field have their own challenges doing that very task. So it's very easy for us to describe how to do something, but it's very different to actually doing something. So being in a place where there is ambient knowledge, people who actually have walked the walk and done the job and have lived the world, they're the kinds of people that can transmit knowledge that is not found in a book and is never going to be found in a book, because it takes, for example, up to a year to publish a book. Well, since cybersecurity is changing so rapidly, something that is a year old is out of date. It's generally not usable. There are some exceptions, obviously, basics and so forth and so on. But the fact is that you don't go to your doctor and say, no, I don't want this year's flu shot. I'd like last year's flu shot, please.
Part of this disruptive educational model too is just along those lines, Brett. It's about having industry and partners and relationships with business coming to the range, coming to the center of excellence, and working with students. That serves a couple of purposes. It allows students to see where they need to go, what they need to really learn to be a valuable contributing future employee of that business. It also allows businesses to look at those students and very early on recruit and look at, hey, we got to watch this person, or we need to keep an eye on her. She's amazing. And it really is this great organic but very disruptive educational experience that serves the community very well.
Absolutely. Sherry Piper is one of our great examples. quick question for you, Sherry. Prior to your being our cyber range master at Tech Data, had you ever run a cyber range?
Never. Never. And it's, sometimes it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That helps as well. But if it shouldn't be driven by that, right? It is the willingness to learn and keeping that open mind and understanding if you have that drive, if you have that internal need to fill something bigger than you, this is the industry for you. And Pima really helps put that into action. And they have great reach in their community, in their connections, and it doesn't stop there. It only begins there.
At the Tech Data Cyber Range, when we were looking for a cyber range master, which by the way is the coolest title we have at Tech Data, we were trying really hard to work through the amazing set of candidates that had submitted applications. And we looked very closely at Sherry because of the fact that we felt she brought a great deal of an extra set of skills, something that's not technical, that's not only focused on operating a cyber range. She brought a soldier diplomat level of skill, which has been instrumentally valuable to the organization. So even though she would have been considered a non-traditional candidate, I don't believe that any one of the candidates that had ever applied for this job would have done a better job than what Sherry's doing. And it's because of the fact that she brings new ideas and new thoughts and new skills to something that many would consider to be something that is a simple operating of a computer lab. So that diversity of thought, that diversity of skill is something that contributes heavily to the success of successful cybersecurity programs.
Shucks, Brett, thanks.